Today, for this week's collage, I thought I'd do one of my ones that's a bit of a darker piece, but still has quite a bit of satire involved and dark humour. And this is one that is called The Herald of Woe and Suffering, you see from the title here. Now, again, this is another one. This is another one where I had in what I had in mind, or rough idea of what I had in mind. I didn't have these exact images in mind. So, but I went for a look on the internet. This is before I discovered these three sites that I've talked about before. So these images were in some ways easier to find or harder to find, because with those three websites, Pixabay, Pexels, and Unsplash, it is a bit like with magazines where you're in almost the mercy a little of what's been put up there. However, with like I said, with digital pieces, you have but you do have the bonus of you're able to resize and so forth, and flip them, which you don't really have with hand cut unless you were to scan it in and do that. So this one I always had in mind of I wanted to really juxtapose something that's sort of absolute misery. In this case, you see it's warfare. I believe, since you've got horseback people in the background, just by the uniforms, it's all black and white. I believe, if I remember correctly, this may be from the American Civil War. And you've got I wanted the whole idea of like a kid's toy. In this case, it was a drumming clown, a wind-up toy. So this is, again, a vintage thing. This is an old metal toy. And I wanted to have that juxtaposed against it as to show the sharp contrast between the two. And some ways you could put it in is the fact that we're a bunch of clowns for what we do to each other, or we're playing war games, or there's the drummer boy that you at the time would go along with war. There's a whole lots of other things, but what I really liked and in mind was also and I did want the war scene to be, the misery scene to be black and white, and the kid's toy to be colourful. So you have those sharp distinctions, and it appeals to my kind of slightly twisted sense of humour as well. There's a slight wry smirk, and of some gallows humour involved in how I portray these things. And I have a piece that's on a similar vein to that as well, which is here, which again, and it's the with this one, and so you're getting two collage of the weeks for one this week. Well, wait for it to load up. It's one of those ones where also the title is almost part of the is in part of the juxtaposition as well. So this one, you've got a similar idea, and I think this is probably from the second. This is a 20th century picture. It may even be the Second World War. I don't think it's the Holocaust, because I kind of stray away from that one where I don't want people to seem like I'm making light of that. Even though, all other atrocities are as bad. It's just one of those things, and it's one of those things where it's a little bit more. There's a lot more public sensitivity about that, as there should be a lot of public sensitivity about it. It was quite possibly the worst thing that humanity has ever done to each other, and we still have not got over that, and we still probably never will. Although I hope we never get over it, because if we get over it, there's always a chance that more of that might happen again. But here, I've done the same thing. I've done like a childlike fairy ballerina type dancing around this absolutely awful thing that happened. And you could say, and this is almost in the same vein as the previous one, the universe doesn't care, in the fact that the universe does not care about this. And so this could be nature prancing around through our misery. But the title, Think a Happy Thought, that came from, I've always hated this kind of Tinkerbell logic of the laws of attraction people, where, I know I've seen some of these people say that bad things only happen to you because you thought bad things. So the logic is, well, did all these people suffer because they didn't think happy enough thoughts? So it's also my little dig at that mentality. So again, this is all digital. This one could have been done the way I cut it out. It looks like cut out. It does look hand cut, but it is digital. And I've only just noticed here the original stamp on the picture. It's one of the things you notice when you haven't looked at these for a while. I don't even know if where I've put the signature for this. Because I do when I do digital pieces, you do see a signature. But yeah, this Signal Corps US Army. That's what stamp says. So this would have been from the Second World War. So it could well have been from the Holocaust, or it could have been from some of the any other atrocities during the Second World War. So these are all very bad. These were all very, very bad things that happened, and unfortunately, bad things continue to happen until we learn to grow from this. That's if we ever will. So I'm hoping I don't seem at all insensitive to anyone who descended from people who survived this, or just generally to these poor unfortunate people that did die, because it was absolutely not their fault. These people did not deserve to meet their end in this way. These people here, whether they're unearthed massacres. So I can't remember if it's from the U.S. Army. It probably was from liberated, maybe some liberated concentration camps as opposed to death camps. Still equally bad. And the people in the other piece, the people in the Civil War, they didn't deserve to die. We shouldn't be killing each other like this, and we shouldn't be. And this is, like I said, it's a way. It's almost like gallows humour. I don't find this funny at all, but in the least bit amusing. But it's one of these things where you have to almost laugh or cry, and like I said, I don't find any of this funny, and I really wish, as a species, we would grow past this. We don't seem to be doing it as quickly as I'd like, although one could argue that this is, apart from things that are happening currently as I'm recording in areas like the Ukraine and Gaza and Israel, that apart from areas like that, we do actually seem to be in safer safer state. Then you're less likely to be killed by your fellow man nowadays than 100 years ago, maybe even 50 years ago. So in some ways things have improved. It would just be nice if they improved more. And things like this, they are buried and hidden. It's much harder for them to remain hidden these days, where we have media everywhere. Things get caught. Even 20 years ago, before 30, 40 years ago, something like what happened to George Floyd would have, the police officers that did that would be more likely to have got away with it. It was only because of today's social media that these things happened. Everyone has a camera on them now, and that's why Russian atrocities in the Ukraine have been picked up on a lot more. We even know more about some things that happen in areas like China because of that. Well, less so areas like North Korea, but things are improving, and I'm trying to be hopeful that things like this will never happen again. So I see what you let me know what you think of these about my despite my rather confused and rambling, and like, share, and subscribe, and I shall hope to hear from you soon. And also check out my link tree, which is in my description, because that has all my socials and my merch stores. And next week will hopefully be a much less dark one. Okay, thank you.